Before the MCU, before the Netflix show, there was this. And trust me, it's wilder than you think. Check out how Marvel Comics' Daredevil was born. Hi everyone and welcome back to Still Only 35 Cents. For this one, with the new TV series Daredevil Born Again about to hit Disney+, I thought it would be a good opportunity to give you a brief history of the character and the issue that started it all, Daredevil Issue 1. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell for future videos just like this one. Daredevil first debuted in Marvel Comics' Daredevil Issue 1 in April 1964. Created by writer-editor Stan Lee and artist Bill Everett along with some character design input from Jack Kirby. Alongside Daredevil, the first issue also introduced ongoing supporting cast characters Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. Martin Goodman, the publisher of Marvel Comics at the time, was so pleased with the reception and popularity of Spider-Man that he asked Stan Lee to create a similar character based on the original Daredevil from the 1940s. This Golden Age character first appeared in Lev Gleason's Silver Streak Comics issue 6 from September 1940 and went on to have a long, successful run in his own title Daredevil Comics, which started in July 1941. Created by Jack Binder for editor Jack Cole, it was legendary creator Charles Biro who took over writing and drawing the character throughout his 10-year run. The character, Bart Hill, became Daredevil after witnessing his father's murder by criminals, an experience which left him mute and branded with a boomerang-shaped scar. This drove the hero to develop his talents with boomerangs, which he used to wage his own vigilante war against crime and criminals. It's also worth noting that the concept of blind justice, as symbolised by the blindfold worn by Lady Justice who represents the legal system, may have also influenced the decision to portray Daredevil's blindness. Initially, Stan Lee had asked Steve Ditko, the co-creator of Spider-Man, to help him create Daredevil, but Ditko declined. So instead, Stan turned to Bill Everett, the creator of Namor, along with Jack Kirby, the co-creator of Fantastic Four and the Avengers. Together, Everett and Kirby worked with Lee to design Daredevil's original costume, with both Kirby and Lee claiming credit for Daredevil's Billy Club. Notably, for this first issue, Marvel production manager Sol Brodsky and Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko actually ended up inking a variety of backgrounds and secondary figures. In addition, they pieced together the cover and splash page from Jack Kirby's original concept drawing to complete the first issue, after Everett famously turned in his pencils extremely late. Daredevil was generally seen as a second-string character in the Marvel Universe for much of his first 15 years of existence. However, this changed in the 1980s when Frank Miller was brought onto the title and started his now classic run, reinventing the character and introducing new characters, including Elektra in Daredevil issue 168 in January 1981, the Villainous Hand Organization in Daredevil issue 174 in September 1981, as well as introducing Stick, who served as Matt Murdock's mentor in Daredevil issue 176 in November 1981. So with that, let's take a look inside Daredevil issue 1. So to start us off, I thought I'd share with you my current Daredevil issue 1, which is graded 6.5 from CGC. This is a UK price variant. This is the first appearance of Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, with this classic cover featuring Matt Murdock alongside Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. As you can see here, this is a UK price variant, and you can tell that by the 9D and also the fact on the UK price variants there's no date. A great comic book to have. I even splashed out on the Daredevil custom label. It's a beautiful copy, but I do have a second one to share with you so we can have a look inside. Picked this one up recently from another UK auction house, as again it's a UK price variant, but you can see here this one is markedly different. It's signed by Stan Lee himself and even has a little bit of text underneath, which reads, "Forgive the tear." Apparently Stan had tore the comic book whilst he was signing it. Nonetheless, Gonna get this one graded and have the signature verified by CGC, but it's great to have 2 copies in hand. Don't think this one will grade out as high as the 6.5, thinking more in the realm of 3 to 4 potentially with a clean and press. It does have some Marvel chipping that you can see here, but ultimately still happy to have this copy in the collection, especially with Stan Lee's signature on the cover. Opening it up, you see the other UK price variant difference. The sole distributors in the United Kingdom, Thorpe and Porter Limited. That's the only difference that you see on these UK price variants. They're essentially the same book and were printed at exactly the same time on the same printing plates, with those small exceptions that you see here. Again, what you get here is that fabulous concept design by Jack Kirby on the splash page. And of course, the Amazing Spider-Man issue 1, hoping to replicate the success of that book. I love the fact that they have that little message that says, "Now we congratulate you on having bought another prized first edition. This magazine is certain to be one of your most valued comic mag possessions in the months to come." And there are the credits down below, written by Stan Lee, illustrated by Bill Everett, and lettered by Sam Rosen. We start our story at Fogwell's gym, where a gang are playing poker, only to be interrupted by Daredevil himself, who breaks in and battles with the thugs. Our blind hero Daredevil makes short work of these criminals before we're introduced to his origin story, where a young Matt Murdock is seen with his father, prize fighter Battling Murdock. One of the things that I love about these old books is the fact that you get these fabulous house ads. We've seen some of these in some of the other books that I've shared as well. In this one, we get a copy of Tales to Astonish issue 55 and Strange Tales 120. On this page, we see Matt go to school and do his best to live up to his father's dream to become a top student and lawyer. Matt doesn't fit in with the other kids and they think he's a sissy, so one day he sets about training himself with a whole bunch of different sports, as you can see here. Matt's father, Battling Murdock, looks on, very proud of his son as he keeps studying. In order to keep paying for Matt's schooling, he makes the fateful decision to meet with the Fixer. Signing with the Fixer, Battling Murdock is now able to pay for his son's college. Rushing home to share the news, he finds an empty apartment. As fate would have it, Matt is returning home from the library when he spots a blind man crossing the road who doesn't seem aware of the oncoming truck about to run him down. Leaping into action, Matt jumps past the truck, knocking the old man clear. However, a radioactive cylinder falls from the truck, striking Matt's face. Blinded, Matt is taken to hospital, where his father looks on. Luckily, a few days later, Matt returns home, unable to see. But that doesn't stop Matt Murdock. Matt is able to still exercise and bizarrely seems able to perform much better than he previously was able to. Perhaps, he wonders, this was because of the radioactive elements that struck his eyes. Later, in his dorm room with Foggy, he discovers that he has enhanced senses. But most importantly, despite his blindness, he's able to see through radar-like pings. Meanwhile, Battling Murdock continues his fights under the auspices of the Fixer. In college, before Battling's latest fight, Foggy lets Matt know that his dad is about to fight the number 2 contender. Ordered to throw the fight by the Fixer, Battling Murdoch refuses and wins the fight, only to be congratulated by his son. Meanwhile, the Fixer is unhappy. On his way home from the gym, sadly, Battling Murdoch is slain. A grieving Matt is comforted by Foggy back at college, but is able to actually graduate from college, and they set up their own Nelson and Murdoch attorneys at law business in New York. And we see the introduction of Karen Page. However, Matt is haunted by his father's death and swears to bring the murderer to justice. Not wanting to break his father's promise, instead, Matt decides to don an outfit and become Daredevil. And we get to see our first glimpse of the now iconic yellow and red Daredevil suit. Daredevil goes on the hunt for Battling Murdoch's manager, the Fixer. Changing into his Daredevil suit, he probes the underworld and asks to be taken to the Fixer. Hearing the name Battling Murdoch, the Fixer orders his goons to attack Daredevil. Once again, Daredevil makes quick work of these thugs. Before the murderous goon that works for the Fixer comes behind Daredevil and pushes him out of the window. Falling from the building, he manages to use his billy club to leverage himself back up to the window and rejoins the fray. Meanwhile, Foggy looks for Matt, unfortunately not finding him in his apartment. And yet again we have another house ad, this time Amazing Spider-Man issue 12 and Fantastic Four 26. Absolutely love these. Unable to find Matt, Foggy returns to the office only to come across Karen, who's in the office tidying up on her day off, on the off chance she can catch up with Matt Murdoch, hinting at their future love story. Back in the fight, Daredevil ushers out the other thugs, telling them that he's only interested in Slade, the murderer, and the Fixer. Once again, the fight re-ensues with the two, and they're able to escape as the Fixer unbalances Daredevil and wrenches his wrist. Racing around the corner, Slade and the Fixer disappear into the crowd. However, Matt's super senses allow him to detect both of the criminals in the crowd, and as they move into the subway, Matt changes back into his Daredevil suit and faces them both. Knocking Slade to the ground, he chases after the Fixer, who unfortunately collapses with a heart attack. Slade, meanwhile, has made his escape, and Daredevil notices this and jumps aboard the passing train. Whilst on board, he's finally able to bring Slade to justice and hands him over to the police, introducing himself as Daredevil for the first time. Back at the office, Matt finally appears and catches up with Foggy and Karen, who ironically are asked if they can defend the accused murderer named Slade. We close with this iconic panel of Matt and his alter ego Daredevil in shadow. Also of note on this last page is this great call out to send your letters to Daredevil, care of Stan Lee, 3rd floor, 655 Madison Avenue, New York. As well as a tease for the next issue where he faces his first supervillain. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Daredevil issue 1. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this great character and your hopes for the new Daredevil Born Again TV show in the comments below. We've just launched channel memberships here on Still Only 35 Cents. For just $2.99 US a month, you can join the other price variant members to gain access to exclusive member-only videos and live shows. All the proceeds raised from memberships will be going to the Hero Initiative. And with that, thanks as always for watching, take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next video. Don't forget to check out other great videos, as well as follow us on Instagram, Facebook and X. We also host a weekly live stream, the Merry Monday Mailcall Show, every Monday morning at 7:30 AM Australian Eastern Time. Enough said.